Welcome. We're working into video number 4 in the Somatic Shorts series and how we learn to find, feel, engage, and strengthen some of the deeper muscles of the core. So today we're going to go into not only transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor, which is in the previous videos, but also the oblique muscles. Hello, obliques. Come on down, same position today. All the way down onto our back. The usual, you can feel free to hug your knees into your chest. Always inviting yourself first to feel yourself through the pelvis, maybe even the base of the skull. So we want the brain to map the position of the body, particularly the way that the floor will support our spine in a neutral position. And then feet can come down to the floor. We're going to have a short repeat from video number 2 first. We're going to take the arms and place them behind the head, and we'll go into our arch and curl where we create a little more contraction through the abdomen. So with the hands behind you, take your belly breath and breathe into the belly, feeling the belly rise, and as you do so, press your arms and your shoulder blades into the ground. Come onto the tailbone and feel your back arch. And then as you breathe out, gently press low back, lower ribs into the ground. Hug your arms towards you. Keep your gaze up, your nose up towards the sky, so we shouldn't be able to see our legs. And lift the head, lift the tailbone. So think tail and tongue press into the ground as you inhale, and the back arches. As you exhale, tail and tongue lift, and the front body contracts. Just giving it a little warm up to allow yourself to feel this beautiful rhythmic dance between front body and back body. So when the front body is stretching on the inhale, the back body's contracted, and vice versa. On the exhale, the front body's contracted and back body is expansive. Okay, so once we have that general movement, we'll come down. Hopefully just built just a little bit of heat, and now we'll work more into the obliques. So that was to wake up the transverse abdominis and pelvic floor. Again, in my other videos, you'll see that one. So we're going to take the right hand only behind the base of the skull, and then we're going to lift the left leg off the ground and see if you can come to the 90 degrees that we did in the last video. So kneecap over the hip, ankle straight off the knee, and you can touch your hand to your thigh if you'd like. Take an inhalation and arch, and so when you're arching now, you're really just pushing more of that right shoulder blade and arm into the ground and slightly through the tailbone. And as you exhale, when we were lifting up before, we're going to do that same thing, but now as you exhale and lift up, I want you to also draw your leg towards you and think of slightly bringing your right elbow towards the left leg. And what I try to avoid is coming all the way over here. So think of keeping your nose more in line with your navel center. So we start at this 90 degrees. We're going to just do one side first. And then on an exhalation, lift the tailbone, lift the head, keep your gaze up, but cross over just a little bit. See if what you should start to feel is the muscles in the sides of the ribs. Those are your obliques. Inhale. So if we want a little more break on the inhale, you can drop the foot down to the ground. And then exhale, bring it in. So I often used to see people at the health club do this, and they'd be boom, boom, flying through them. And I'm wondering, what are they feeling? So can you really sense that complete release of the front body? So now we've got the TVAs in the low abdomen, the pelvic floor, and the tightening in the back body, and now the exhale, that active engagement through the ribs, pelvic floor, and TVAs are still there too, helping out. Inhaling into the arch, and exhaling and curling up. So the other thing I'll play with a little bit as we're doing this is what happens if we don't cross, if we come straight up. So those are all still part of your core, right? What parts of your core do you feel when you take a little bit more of that rotation versus keeping your nose completely in line with your navel center, gaze up towards the sky and coming up that way, hugging that elbow in. This one too, if you remember the bracing from our previous video, I'll sometimes do bracing in this one. So inhale into your arch, exhale, curl, Keep that activity in the front of the body, so that active contraction. You can slowly begin to let your head come down first. Maybe keep the thigh hugging in. See if you can relax your head, your jaw, your shoulder, but we're still active through the core. And then slowly release the leg down. Welcome to do a few more of these in movement, or we'll do one more bracing. Inhale into the arch. Exhale. And I have to be really careful. I tend to bring my chin towards my chest. Most of us do that. Keep your gaze up. So it's more work for your core if your neck is extended and the head's out here. When we bring the head in, it's closer to the body. So less work. See if you can feel your lower abdominal muscles, your pelvic floor, those side body muscles. Maybe you need to do a little more rotation. And slowly, slowly release it. You got to bring your breath up into your chest. Come down. Let go. Arms can come to your sides. Windshield wiper the legs if you'd like. Before we do the second side. It's nice to do one side and the other this way because sometimes we do have a difference of strength in the two sides, right? We get those asymmetries, those imbalances in the muscles. So let's try the other side. Coming into constructive rest, low back is long with just that natural little curve. This time take the left hand behind the base of the skull. Pausing there for a moment. As you arch, press the left arm and shoulder blade into the ground and lift the belly, tailbone slightly into the ground. So there's our arch. And now as you curl, you're going to hug the arm in. Keep your gaze upward. Front of the throat is open. Oops, I forgot to lift the leg up. You can bring the leg up. And then draw it in. So a little less work would be inhale, bring the leg all the way down. As the arm comes down, you press and arch the back. And then draw in on the exhale, crossing towards the midline, but not too far. The other one is, if you want more work, stop at that 90 degrees with the right leg instead of putting the foot down. Draw it in. Inhaling and exhaling. The other thing I'll often see is people will use their right hand to help bring this leg in. Use your core to bring your leg in. Let the right arm relax. Inhaling into the arch. Feel the back body. It'll tighten as you breathe in. And then exhale. Let the back body lengthen. Front body. And play with, are you going way over to the side, or do you keep the nose more in line with your navel center? Inhaling, arching, exhale. Imagine closing down, making the front of your body as small as you can. Feel it in movement first. Can you sense a little more action through your rib cage? So we're taking some of that strength upward, but we're still feeling the pelvic floor muscles and the TAs perhaps, hopefully. So we're adding on to our previous work. And if you want to do a bracing, inhale into the arch. Exhale, curl up. Feel all that active engagement through your pelvic floor, your transversus abdominis, and in those obliques in the rib cage. Slowly and willingly, consciously, release the head, the shoulder, and the leg, if you'd like. Let it all go. So as important as it is to be able to engage the muscles, we want to make sure we can release them, right? That's the balance. Last one, if you want to brace or if you're moving through them, inhale into the arch. And exhale, hug the arm in, bring the leg in, lengthen out the neck. So take that gaze up towards the sky. So the head becomes a weight for our body to help lift, just like the leg is. Slowly release it down. Again, if this is contraindicated for your neck, we don't lift the head. And then come down. Or then you're just stopping with the toe dips. Come down, relax. Thanks again for joining me. This last one, so that was 4 out of 5. Number 5, we're going to switch and we're going to work a little bit more into the side body, so a little more obliques and some other muscles. Join me next week. Peace, joy, love, and light.